Hello. Quite a few of you have seen me here before, and quite a few of you have been a little familiarized with the way I speak. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Pablo Neruda came to my life in my youth, back in the old country, that is Greece, in my high school days. I must have been 18 or 19, when I came across an LP, music, set, music put together by the famous Greek composer Mikis Theodorakis. This man is known to you and to most of the people because of the famous Zorba the Greek song. I'm sure you all know it. He selected some poems from Neruda's Canto General in English, general song. And he set them in music. This is how I got to know Pablo Neruda, through the music. Years later, of course, I've been involved in poetry, came across his books, studied him, and found his work truly, truly amazing. I'm quite proud of being being part of this society, the art class, as Candice mentioned earlier, because when I asked the society about a year ago to start presenting internationally acclaimed poets to the members, to you, to the members of the community, in an English translation, the society had the courage to go out of the loop and say, yes, that's a good idea. We should be involved in doing that. And for this, I'm truly proud of them and of myself for being here. Pablo Neruda wrote quite a few things, as Candice mentioned. But the book we are going to discuss tonight is the smallest he ever wrote. It is called The Heights of Macchu Picchu. You know the site in Peru. And it consists of only 12 poems. These 12 poems are considered the heart and soul of Pablo Neruda's work. We'll discover and discuss that as it goes. But let me start by saying that Neruda became quite known to the world early in his life when in 1924 he published the book 20 Poems of Love and One Ode of Despair. The book sold over 7 million copies, and it still sells today. 7 million copies. Us poets dream of selling 100 copies, or maybe 101. He has sold 7 million copies of this book. Poems of that book are very important with their brilliant use of closely knit imagery. Be aware that the discussion paper I have prepared is based on the introductory comments of his translator, Nathaniel Tarn, T-A-R-N. He is a professor in a college in the US. The translation is dated about 1967, so it's an old translation. There has been more newer translations of Neruda, but this is the book that I found most interesting for its accuracy and for its in-depth analysis of the work we have here before us today, The Heights of Macchu Picchu. Now, of course, you may question why accuracy and how do you speak of accuracy? I don't speak the Spanish language to judge the accuracy of the translation. However, I have read most of this poetry in a Greek translation, and I know the heart and soul of of Neruda when it comes to this particular book. Years later, in the middle of his poetic life, Neruda wrote The Heights of Macchu Picchu. He visited the site in 1943 And the poetry was written 2 years later, in 1945. His translator, Tarn, writes about Neruda's trip to Machu Picchu. When Neruda reaches Machu Picchu, its heights turn out to be the place from which all else makes sense, including the poet's continent, and by extension, the life of the poet, past and present. Which brings or creates the question, what did Neruda see and how he responded to what he saw at the Machu Picchu? That turned him upside down, and his life up to now and from now on makes sense. That is something that we'll discuss at the end of this discussion. The name of the site, the book is divided into 2 portions. The first 5 poems and the second portion of the 7 poems. The name of the Machu Picchu appears on a 6th poem. Up to the time Neruda writes general things about moods and his impressions. He's trying to find a focus. He's trying to define his goal in life in the first 5 poems. And then when it comes to the 6th poem, when he really refers to Machu Picchu, the whole book changes and elevates itself. You'll see that as we go and present the poems. Now we'll start by reading the first 5 poems for you, and the first person I call is Janet. Please, Janet.
Thank you so much. Canto 1. From air to air, like an empty net, dredging through streets and ambient atmosphere, I came lavish at autumn's coronation, with the leaves proffer of currency, and between spring and wheat ears, that which a boundless love, caught in a gauntlet fall, grants us like a long-fingered moon. Days of live radiance in discordant bodies, steels converted to the silence of acid, nights entangled to the ultimate flower, assaulted stamens of the nuptial land. Someone waiting for me among the violins, met with a world like a buried tower, sinking its spiral below the layered leaves, color of raucous sulfur. And lover yet in a vein of gold, like a sword in a scabbard of meteors, I plunged a turbulent and tender hand to the most secret organs of the earth. Thank you.